What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Today I am drinking a lovely Kenya, same one I had the day before. Super excited. I got some real fun coffees coming in the mail very shortly. They're expensive, but they're gonna be very good. So stay tuned for that. Today we're gonna be talking about grinders, if you hadn't figured out, and which one's the best for you, and which one you should never, ever, ever, ever buy. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time it may be for you. Thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate you all being here. Thank you for all the love and the support on some of the last ones. And to all of you that have recently subscribed, thank you. It's amazing to finally hit 100 subscribers. If you haven't yet, please subscribe now. Turn on those notifications so you can, be updated when a new video posted. But today, we will be talking about grinders. It's time, guys. It's time to tell you, not about the grinder you should buy, but about the grinder you should never, ever, ever buy. And that is this one right here. This is a blade grinder. Please, please never purchase one of these machines. The only reason they're in the house is because my parents use it for spices to grind. Never, ever, ever even consider, even think about using a blade grinder for your coffee. Whenever you type in coffee grinder on Amazon or on Google, a lot of times the first things that come up is one of these. A garbage, crappy, no good blade grinder. Don't buy one. Now Josh, you may be asking, why are you so against blade grinders? Let me tell you. Two very important reasons. One, it's a blade. It does not give you an even grind. It just literally can't, because it's just chopping it. Think about if you've ever used one that maybe like processes like an onion or something like that. Yeah, the pieces are not the same size. They're gonna be like big, hefty chunks and these little tiny micro powders. It will be the most disgusting cup of coffee you'll ever have in your life. It's not gonna taste good. The second reason is these things spin so fast, they actually start to heat up and break down the chemicals in the coffee beforehand, which the entire reason you're fresh grinding it is so that it is as fresh as is possible. So don't do that, just don't. So before we get more into which grinder I would recommend for you, I wanna hear from you guys. Give me a little in the comments. Just tell me what grinder you're using, if you're using one, if you're getting it ground at a local shop, that's also great as well. The reason you want to be grinding your coffee as close to when you're going to brew the coffee as possible is for one simple reason, and I need a visual aid. All right, got him. So basically, here is what you need to think about. When you're grinding a coffee, as soon as you grind it, as soon as you break it apart, you are creating, well, you're not creating, you're starting a chemical reaction in between the beans and the air, and they will start to stale, and they will start to just, react with the air and the oxygen even quicker than the whole beans will. The best way to explain that is to think of like this baking powder right here, soda, baking stuff, as being like your unground coffee beans. So these are whole beans right now. As soon as you grind them, a chemical reaction starts to take place and you start to just lose the quality of those beans. All these bubbles you're seeing right here, that is all of the flavor leaving the beans. Now obviously you're not gonna lose these immediately, like you're not just gonna be done with the flavors, but if you were to grind it and then brew the coffee 3 days later, 5 days later, a week later, it's going to be very stale, definitely not as good as if you just ground it right before. So that is why we wait till the last minute to grind. Now, on to what you came here for, the best grinder for you. I don't know. I got real scared this was gonna just explode on me, so I'm glad it didn't. So, there's one thing you need to know about grinders. Burr grinders. That's it. You want a burr grinder. Now, granted, every burr grinder is not created the same. I have here the two that I regularly use. This is a hand grinder. You take the top off, pour the beans in the top, and stick the top on, and grind it. And that's how you do it. Now granted, it's manual labor. It takes about 3 minutes to be able to grind your coffee up, but the nice thing is that by the time you're done grinding, your water is heated up, all those things. And this is a really nice grinder. It has some amazing ceramic burrs inside of it. Now, this one. It is from Cuisinart. It is electric. It's got a hopper on the top, which broke on the first time I ever took it on a flight. And it's got a nice catch container. It has a very large capacity and 18 grind settings for what you could grind this at. So overall, really good. But if we were to do a side-by-side comparison of grinding these two coffees, you will see that this one has a much more even grind than this one does, even though they're both burr grinders, and that's something to keep in mind. Not every burr grinder is made the same. These are both conical burr grinders, which basically means that they are a cone shape. The coffee flows through, gets crushed, and then comes out the bottom. A lot of espresso machines or more high-end grinders will be flat grinders, and they'll crush them like this, and then it'll fall out the bottom. But these are conical burr grinders. Either works great, kind of depends on what you're looking for. Usually, it seems to be that the conical ones will be the less expensive, a little bit cheaper. This one is about $70 on Amazon if you want to purchase it. And then this one is about $50 or so. Now, I'm gonna give you two other recommendations that I don't currently own, but I can speak very highly of. The first is the Barossa Encore, I believe it's what it's called. It is an incredible burr grinder. Honestly, I wish I just bought it instead of this when I first bought a grinder, but I didn't know as much about grinders back then. It is a lovely grinder. Also, it's a flat grinder, but it's much smaller burrs. It does an incredible work with coffee, does really great grinds, has an amazing grind settings, way better than this one. It's about $110. Now, the other one I'm gonna recommend is by Fellow, and it is not out yet, and I can't really recommend it without trying it, but I'm so excited for it. I have pre-ordered it, so it should come sometime in the summer. It is basically a commercial level grinder at a home price and like home style. It is an incredible grinder. It looks like it's going to be amazing for the home. It's a little pricier, it's about $300, but if you want the best cup of coffee that you can possibly have, get a grinder like this. Now, just like with the brewers, I'm not gonna say there is one best grinder for you. I will say, don't ever buy a blade grinder. I cannot get this into your brain enough. Never purchase one of these, ever. Don't do it. I can say that if you want the most consistent, long-lasting, probably the best grinder, even though it's a little pricey and it's manual, get yourself a nice manual hand grinder like this one. It's great. Granted, it's a bit of a pain, but you know, if you're brewing for yourself or you purchased an AeroPress or you know, you're just brewing for yourself or on the road, that's a great option. I would highly recommend it. If you're gonna be brewing, again, for groups, this is not the way you wanna go. If you're gonna be brewing a lot for groups, you don't wanna be doing this because it's individually dosed servings. If you're doing for groups, not saying it's the best grinder out there, but it's a solid option. If you have the money, do the Upstep, do the Barossa, and then if you really have the money, really step up there and get the Fellow. Oh, it's gonna be great, guys, when it comes out. I know it's gonna be pricey, but it's gonna be great, I promise. But yeah, basically, that's what I got for you for grinders today, guys. I know it's gonna be quick, but I really can't say a lot. I mean, I can't say a lot. There's a lot you could say about grinders. I could sit here for a long time talking about grinders, but all you need to know is two things. Avoid blade grinders and buy a burr grinder. And two, know that all burr grinders are not gonna be the same, and to do your research to figure out which one is the best for you. And you know, with a little help, with a little research, I am sure you will find the perfect burr grinder for you, whether it's a nice little portable one, a nice electric one for bigger batches, whatever it may be, you will find the right one for you. As always, thank you so much for being here today, guys. I really appreciate it. Remember, leave a comment, leave a little like, a subscribe, turn that notification bell on so you are notified of any future videos. And by any, I mean there's going to be one on Monday, and then one on Wednesday, and then Friday. So, you know, stay notified so you know when they're coming. I'm rambling as I do at this point in the video. Thank you all again so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will see you all in the next episode, and yeah, that's what I got for you guys today. Cool. Go buy yourself a grinder like this, please. Just do it. Go buy a good bar grinder. Don't buy blade. Don't do it. Don't do it. Did you? He just died.